Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I as always am Grestar and this is another death battle reaction, Zuko versus Shoto Todoroki. So of course make sure to click the link in the description below to go to the official release first. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Watch that there, then come back here and we'll watch it together. So Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender and Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia. I frankly believe between these two, unless there are like comic or manga feats that I'm unaware of, like if I'm just pulling my information from the show, it seems like Shoto would have this one. It seems to me like Shoto is both more versatile, even if you don't yet count his ice powers, but that he's also more powerful given the kind of output he's been like shown to have, you know? Like I wonder if they're going to go with like an older Zuko that has more power, or if they're going to be like, oh well, Shoto doesn't have as big energy pools as Zuko does, so he's gonna wear himself out, or if there's just something else that I'm completely missing. Like I know, okay, one thing actually that just occurred to me that I hadn't been thinking about is that Zuko does just have like better martial arts skills. Like they both have fire, and that's why they're up against each other. You can't tell me otherwise. Like they both have fire, and they both have the scar on their eye, you know? Maybe this side, I don't know. But Zuko does actually have, like, he can actually fight hand to hand as well, or he's really skilled with, like, you know, the two swords. So I guess that does give him an advantage. Because those could definitely kill Shoto. I guess it's just a matter of whether or not Shoto could keep his distance and outpower or overpower Zuko. This is actually going to be more interesting than I thought. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna have to wait until we watch the analyses portions. So, with that, let's get to watching. And yes, Zuko can also redirect lightning. But what are the odds that that would come into play every single fight, you know? I mean, I guess he can redirect fire too, because like he's fought firebenders before. Whereas I don't know if Shoto has that kind of capability. So Zuko actually seems more versatile now that I think about it. Because when I was originally saying that, I was only talking about fire, you know, which they both have. So, interesting. I'm liking this death battle more the more I think and talk about it.
All those cool anime
Hasn't even
out
started.
There, there's bound to be plenty with angsty daddy issues.
Absolutely.
Like you?
Don't be silly, Wiz. I'm not an anime character. Like Prince Zuko, the fire-bending hunter of the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
And Shoto Todoroki, the prodigal son of fire and ice from My Hero Academia.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
But doesn't Todoroki also have some resistance to fire?
Earth.
Like, isn't his burn actually from the water?
The four elemental
Or no, not from the water, from
from
his mom's
then
ice.
Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, the cranky old Fire Lord went and conquered basically the whole world.
And
it wasn't fire,
years
and it was
later,
boiling water,
the
I
equally
believe,
powerful
yeah.
Master of Fire, Ozai,
I should probably
continued
focus.
that tyranny. Many
I just keep
believed his
thinking
rule
about-
would one day
Anyway.
pass to either his daughter, Azula, or his son, Zuko.
Yeah, Fire Dad was way too ego crazy for that. He drove Azula mad, even though he did clearly favor her. Poor little Zuko got screwed over from the beginning.
Can you imagine your dad saying that while your sister was born lucky, you were just lucky to be born?
I can't
That's
imagine
pretty
my dad
rude.
saying anything to me.
Oh.
Oh, Boomstick.
Well, despite this, Zuko was desperate to prove himself. What a fine work ethic.
But
Yeah.
he screwed up by talking out of turn in a big boy meeting. So naturally, his dad took him aside, sat him down, and taught him the importance of respecting others.
Nope.
Oh wait, just kidding. He burned his friggin' face off. Holy shit!
With his new scar came a new mission. Zuko would hunt down the elusive Avatar, the one threat to his nation's rule, to prove himself to his father and regain his honor.
And it worked out
Which is
so
just
well.
a nice way of saying he was banished so he could never come back. Just like my dad didn't.
Though, frankly,
Aw.
Zuko did have the talent and training he needed to capture someone even as powerful as the Avatar.
Damn right, he's a fighting pro. The dude's strong enough to shatter metal chains with a kick. He's super skilled with martial arts, dual swords, and oh yeah, firebending.
Right.
As a firebender, Zuko harnesses the light of the sun to summon flames from thin air. Wherever fire remains alight in an area that's not too cold, he can manipulate or bend it to his will.
I mean, if I had to pick between swirling water around, tossing a few rocks, or farting hot air all the time, I would definitely go with firebending. It literally means you're a living flamethrower.
Plus, it's surprisingly versatile. Aside from simply creating, launching, and moving flames, firebending can be used to heat objects, melt through ice prisons, and even defy gravity.
Is that guy flying? With fire? Awesome! How does
Yes.
that even work?
Well, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law. By creating a rapid series of explosions an inch or so away from the palm, the air in between the hand and fire is launched toward the user, thereby creating propulsion.
Yeah.
Yeah, firebending isn't just about creating fire. It's about creating a bunch of it. So Zuko can make large, long-lasting walls of flame to protect himself and keep enemies at a distance. That stuff's hot, you know.
Yeah.
Fire? Yeah.
It's fire. You know, I've actually rigged up my arm to replicate the technique of firebending.
Have you?
Dummy, if you'd please.
Another test. How
Dummy,
thrilling.
no.
Now, this isn't as
I
simple
didn't
as
talk
just
about him in the
point and
last.
shoot.
I meant to
Firebenders
at the end of the
fuel their
last one. I
flames
really
with
liked.
their own
I like Dummy
breath.
so far.
And using it at all requires a fierce understanding of martial arts.
What are you trying to do, the Macarena?
Zuko's favorite form, the dancing dragon, draws primarily from northern Shaolin Kung Fu.
That's a Chinese martial art that's all about agility, wide stances, and aggressive attacks. A perfect mix of speed and strength.
Like this. Whoa!
With
Hey!
why?
Ha ha ha.
Cat face.
Anyway, the fire that benders like Zuko can generate is extremely hot, capable of melting through a cast iron door hot. This would need to be over 1200 degrees Celsius.
And
Okay.
while Sozin's comet was boosting his powers, Zuko's uncle Iroh blasted apart the giant outer wall of Ba Sing Se. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Until Iroh comes a-knockin'. I mean, that's like the thickest wall I've ever seen. Second only to the emotional walls between me and my dad.
Even without Sozin's comet, which only appears once every 100 years, Zuko has more than enough firepower to level a building. That's no laughing matter for any person or building.
No,
He's even
definitely
quick
not for
enough
buildings.
to catch lightning and use his fire powers to redirect it wherever he wants it to go. Kapow! Suck it, Dad! Oh shoot, wait, did he just shoot his dad with lightning?
No, he purposely
Zuko's
avoided it.
quest
He's
for the
fine.
Avatar led him down a different path than he expected. Inspired by his kind uncle and the Avatar himself, he joined the
Iroh's
heroes
such
on
an
a new
MVP.
journey, one of self-discovery.
Yeah, turns out he didn't need his dad's approval after all. He just needed to approve himself. Now that's character development.
Zuko's
Honestly,
definitely
it
had
was.
a heated redemption arc, and now that he's the Fire Daddy, Lord, Fire
Fire-
Lord,
Fire
his
Daddy?
honor
I'm sorry?
keeps burning brighter.
Are you crushing on Zuko?
Wiz.
What? No.
Yeah, you are. It's okay, Wiz.
Everyone is.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Hello, Zuko here.
You gotta love him. He's so awkward at the
Welcome
end there
to
when
a
he
world
joins the
where
gang.
The supernatural is natural, where more than 80% of the population possesses superhuman abilities known as quirks.
And because everyone loves to game a system, there's a superhero leaderboard. At the very top of it stands the ultimate
Popularity.
hero, All Might.
All Might's
And
feat
who's
and
number
reputation
two?
Were
Hmm?
incredible.
Huh?
A
Who's
true
number two?
symbol of peace for everyone. That is, everyone except the hero perpetually stuck at rank number 2.
That's Endeavor,
right.
and he vowed to surpass All Might. But his literal firepower was just never enough.
But if
Literal
he couldn't do it
Fire
himself,
Daddy.
he would vicariously through his own heir. Thus, he made the desperate decision to arrange a quirk marriage.
Which is so messed
Basically,
up.
he paid a family off to get a wife with an ice quirk and popped out kids until he got the right quirk combo. Gross. I feel like I need a shower.
After 4 attempts, they finally
Yeah.
spawned the child he was looking for, Shoto Todoroki.
Half cold, half hot. Literally, right side's ice like his mom, and left side's fire like his dad.
Endeavor quickly separated young Todoroki from his supposedly lesser siblings, ruthlessly training him to become the most powerful hero in history.
Surprise! Things didn't go so well. He drove Shoto's mom totally insane until she broke.
Pouring boiling water on her son's left side, because it reminded her too much of him.
Okay, this is getting super heavy for a colorful cartoon about superpowers and frog people.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Todoroki never truly fell for his father's disgusting manipulation. He attended UA High School, a hero academy, and worked to use his power for good.
But just his mom's power. Why use fire when you can stick it to the man? The man being a big scary fire dad over there.
Yes.
Anyone else notice his facial hair is made of fire? I How's
That's
that work?
he does
From
that
his
himself.
Right side, Todoroki can summon intense bouts of cold, freezing the air or even creating massive
Look how
glaciers
huge
of
that
ice.
is.
Talk about overkill! And like a good edgy teen, Shoto named this super iceberg something badass. Heaven-piercing ice wall! Oh, you can just taste the self-loathing.
He
Yeah.
can create sheets of ice to slide on or propel himself forward as if riding a Heeley. While he can't manipulate the ice after he's launched it, he has extremely precise control over its initial release. He can even freeze opponents so thoroughly that they are frozen both inside and out, effortlessly causing necrosis and shattering body parts.
Seriously, that's so dark. It's
Yeah.
chilling. Talk about having a cold shoulder.
But Todoroki has a problem. While he is highly resistant to cold, he's not immune.
Here I am. Guess I'll die.
Oh, I won't be needing you this time, dummy.
Genuine joy.
Casting
Bye,
too much
dummy.
ice from his right side will
Bye.
cause his body temperature to drop until he falls unconscious, potentially even suffering frostbite.
I mean, it takes freezing an entire building before side effects even start to show up, so it's not all. Why'd you even make the stupid robot?
That's why
For me,
Endeavor
they made it
chose
for
to
me.
mix ice with fire. See, he had the same problem with his own fire quirk, but with cold and hot combined, they could counter each other's weaknesses.
Thankfully, Shoto met a friend who helped show him that his fire
Yeah.
wasn't his father's.
Ah, that
It
fight.
his
It was so
own.
nice.
You tell him, Deku. Finally, the full power of Icy Hut was unleashed.
Icy.
Do you think you can help my back? Just hurts from carrying the show.
While he's much less proficient with fire, given his lack of experience with it,
Uh-huh.
his half of his quirk is identical to Endeavor's. His fire is hot enough to melt Tetsu Tetsu, whose body can turn to steel, which means it can reach temperatures over 1600 degrees.
He can blast fire like a raging inferno, form walls of flame to block off areas, and use his evil dad's signature technique, flash fire.
Flash fire is a method of compressing flame under super hot temperatures before releasing it in a single strike. Endeavor can also shape his fire, use it to cling to walls, and fly.
But even if he is a huge dick, Endeavor was kinda right. Fire and ice combined put both quirks at their best. Shoto's one of the best in his class, taking hits from a tank like Deku, fighting top-tier foes like Stain, and keeping up with classmates like Bakugo and Tokoyami, who can block Kaminari's electricity.
And while he's often criticized for relying too much on his quirk, Todoroki is incredibly smart and a quick thinker, reading
Yes.
and setting traps for his opponents in the blink of an eye.
And after all that craziness, he finally patched things up with his mom, and somehow even inspired his dad to try and be a better person. What a nice story.
Yeah.
I wish he could inspire my dad too. Not Mama, though. She's already perfect.
Well on his way
Aw.
to becoming a successful hero, Shoto Todoroki no longer fights in spite of his father, but for himself and the sake of others.
Dang it, it's over. I was hoping for more.
I'll be a hero.
It's time for a death battle! And pause. Okay, so, I mean, Zuko is way better than I was initially giving him credit for. And I know that the more I talked about it, the more credit I gave him. And I think that he is an amazing fighter, an amazing combatant, capable of great things. But it still does seem like to me that Shoto is going to win. So Zuko has more experience and, you know, being able to like actually perform martial arts and all that stuff, and he's like strong enough to smash like the chains and everything. That's a big deal. But yeah, Shoto was proven to like he was able to withstand one of Deku's hits, and granted that was like a much lower level Deku power punch, you know, just because that was fairly early on in the show. Deku's still learning how to use his abilities, that kind of thing. But it was powerful, you know. Well, actually, that was before Deku was really holding back, right? Because didn't he end up, like, every attack he was breaking his arms and fingers? Because wasn't it only after that that they're like, you can't keep doing this, otherwise you're gonna just kill yourself. And so then he started to learn how to like not break the egg, I thought. So actually, Shoto might have been I mean, still not like an All Might level punch, but I think it was actually it might have been a fully powered one for all. Huh. Interesting. Okay, anyway, so he's durable. Shoto's durable is what I'm saying. And they said that he was able to keep up with people who were able to avoid Kaminari's lightning. And if we're saying that it's true lightning, I mean, it is true electricity at least, you know? Then he would have to be pretty fast. They did say that Zuko could also, like, move that fast. you know, to catch lightning or dodge lightning or whatever. So if anything, it just seems like those cancel each other out. But I think that Deku's feat of strength with, like, you know, just, well, punching, you know? I think Deku is stronger than Zuko's feat of, like, breaking the chains. I think that Shoto could overpower Zuko with his fire, even though Zuko could, to an extent, fire bend it back. And he's obviously more experienced with fire. It just seems like Shoto would be able to overpower him. And I know that Zuko could, like, burn his way out of an ice prison. But, like, Shoto could always use those to just impale Zuko. Or he could, like, grab him and actually freeze him from the inside. Which I know that Zuko, you know, like, they can keep themselves warm even internally. But I think that that's more of, like, a passive thing. Like, if you're in a cold environment, not if someone is literally freezing your insides and, like, killing the cells there, you know? I feel like that's different. Like, if Zuko wins, I think it really will be due to his combat experience and specifically his martial arts training that will take him over the edge. But I feel like in terms of power, that Shoto's more powerful. I mean, they even did say that, like, Shoto's fire is the same as his dad's, and they mentioned that his dad's was, I think, like 1600 degrees Celsius, and I think they mentioned for Zuko that his fire was like 1200 degrees Celsius. So if you have like a 400 degree difference, like, Shoto's fire burns much hotter, you know? That's what I was gathering, because I think it was like 2200 Fahrenheit and 3000 Fahrenheit was a compare, or something like, you know, something similar to that. Yeah, so I'm going to say that Shoto is going to win this one, and if Zuko wins, I look forward to seeing how. Again, I think it's probably due to the martial arts, if that's the case, but Shoto's going to win and play. I do like them both as characters, though. So in that regard, I'm not going to be upset, whatever happens.
A villain? You'll pay for that.
No, wait. I'm not the bad guy here. I mean, not anymore.
Your actions say otherwise.
I don't know what Shoto's supposed to sound like in English. I've only watched this sub.
Like my father. I'll prove I'm better than both of you.
But Zuko sounded really good so far.
What's the matter? Melting under pressure? He's just
like me.
Moment of connection. They walk away as bros instead. Ow! My stomach! Well, there's the Heaven Piercer, whatever. No, his cabbages!
No, my cabbages!
I'm sorry.
Never intended to finish you with fire. You could obviously block it, but not this. It's over.
No, hold on, Shoto. Hold that thought.
I don't care how much power you have. I know who I am. I will win!
Then I'll have to go beyond.
Even further beyond! He's going Super Saiyan! That's cool.
I am the Fire Lord. I will win this for my honor!
Oh.
Apologies.
Cool. I am satisfied.
Okay, talk about cool as hell. That was epic.
Please, I'm grieving here. Both Todoroki and Zuko held
Look, we
solid
both love
advantages
Zuko.
over the other. Zuko's martial arts, athleticism, and lightning-fast reflexes meant that if he could get close to Todoroki, he could likely end the fight pretty quick.
But Shoto's no slouch. The guy may be better at long range, but he's been in scraps before.
Yes.
Like with the super fast, super deadly hero killer Stain. And with all that ice popping up everywhere and his own super sliding and boosting skills, Shoto made it hard for Zuko to get close for long.
Plus, the speed difference wasn't all that drastic. Todoroki's fellow student Tokoyami's Dark Shadow blocked Kaminari's electricity after it had been fired. Quirks are not magic, and there are very few ways for electricity to travel through the air. Lightning is essentially an ionized path that electricity travels through. Kaminari's quirk must use the same method.
Dark Shadow blocked Kaminari, Bakugo dodged Dark Shadow, and Todoroki can match Bakugo in a fight. Bada bing, bada boom, that's lightning fast reflexes, baby.
I
While
see.
Zuko certainly had more control over fire, Todoroki could easily repel his firebending with his own flames, not to mention the clear difference in temperature. Zuko may be skilled with fire, but he's not immune to it, nor did he have any reliable counter for fast and massive ice attacks.
I
Right.
don't even need to bust out the calculator for this one, Wiz. That stadium is circled by a 4-kilometer track. That's huge. And the edgy ice wall covered almost half of it in less than a second.
And even though he can
Zuko
melt
didn't
out of
have
it,
that kind of power spread.
Yes, I
Like,
know fire
that's just
melts ice,
that
but
much
not
ice
instantly
hitting
when it
him,
comes to
you know?
gigantic glaciers. Plus, firebending becomes much more difficult in cold temperatures. Sure, Zuko's melted through ice prisons before, but only ones where he could still move or at least breathe. Remember, firebending requires breath and movement. When Azula was trapped in an ice prison so compact she couldn't move or breathe, she was helpless.
But like, Shoto could just freeze over Zuko's insides anyway. No way he was surviving that.
Yeah.
Zuko might have been
Okay.
an admirable bender and adorable fan favorite, but Todoroki's overwhelming ice, versatile defense, and incredible power were just too much to handle.
Zuko aimed for success, but his opponent Shoto put him on ice.
The winner is Shoto Todoroki.
Claps for Shoto Todoroki. Cool.
Thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle.
You're
Come back
welcome.
Next week to see previews of our upcoming matchups. If you want to watch more stuff, you can click the boxes right around here. And you
There
can
aren't
also pick
any.
up some DB merch at store.roosterteeth.com.
Cool. Next time on Death Battle, The Flash versus Sonic the Hedgehog. I actually recognize those two. Okay, so this is Wally West. Okay. Wally West specifically. So before we had Barry Allen, right? I really only know those two names. But yeah, okay. So let's talk about this Death Battle. And actually, before we do, since I neglected to last time, I do want to talk about the inclusion of Dummy really quickly. I do really like it so far. It's cool just to get a third like character into the mix to help switch things up. And I really like its personality so far. And the things that they've done with Dummy, yeah, I don't know. I found Dummy endearing. So kudos. I hope that Dummy stays around for at least a little bit longer. I'd like to see, I'd like to see more of him. And if I come to dislike him, that's unfortunate, but we'll see what happens as his character gets more screen time. But right now, I'm happy with him. So now to talk about this Death Battle, Zuko versus Shoto. So I'm glad I was right, and I feel that I was right for the right reasons, and so I'm happy about that. Like, I will claim this victory as my own, and I still love Zuko, and again, he was still much better, like, more powerful and more versatile than I had initially given him credit for, like, far more, But it does make sense to me that Shoto still just outdid him. And they had the thing at the end where he did like the heaven piercing whatever ice, and Zuko burned out of that, and I was assuming that they would show him burning out of the ice prison feet at some point, but like I wasn't even thinking, I was thinking that they might do that, but that's not all it would be capable of, and they did this more at the end, but like he could just use that as a full-on force thing to just hit someone with a wall of ice or pierce them with the huge like ice prongs that we keep seeing visible in that shot. So it didn't it could have ended much sooner is the thing. But I thought it was very cool. I really appreciated the voice acting. Again, I didn't ever watch My Hero Academia in the the English dub. I always watch subtitles, so I don't know how accurate the Shoto voice was. The Zuko voice though was like really accurate in my opinion. I thought the actor for that did an amazing job. So kudos there for sure. And you know, the story made sense enough to me. The characterization was really fun. I liked that moment of like, he's just like me, you know. And then of course they kept fighting. They could have broed it out, but that's all right. It's a death battle. What do you do? And it was cool seeing the versatility in their fight. Once again, it didn't seem like it was forced. It seemed pretty generic to me, which I appreciate, as you all know if you've watched my other death battles. For a while, the death battle itself, or the animation, did seem a little bit slow, which, you know, makes sense to an extent. But even when they're summoning fire, I felt like they could have moved, you know, like the motions themselves could have been a little faster, a little more fluid. I think especially probably on Zuko's part, but I guess I mostly noticed the slowness with Shoto, so maybe that makes more sense than I was initially thinking. But then it picked up anyway. And the switching between like the different kind of styles, you know, like the strictly pixel art to, you know, the more kind of like, you know, cartoon, or even the realistic cartoon kind of look near the end with Shoto. I just thought it was really well done. So I enjoyed this death battle. I really did. Let me know what you thought about this death battle in the comments below. Whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. And next time we will watch Wally kill Sonic. I mean, right? If he can tap into the Speed Force. Is that a Barry Allen only thing? We'll see what happens when we watch the analyses for the two characters next time. But yeah, that's the end of this video. So with that, we're calling it here. Have a good one, everybody.